Head on stage to chat to a few of the guys.
Thank you very much. Quick shot. I am joined by the jungler and the AD carry for the Unicorns. It is, of course, Steelback and Rudy. Not in that particular order, swap them around. But congratulations, gentlemen, on your win. And I want to start off with you, Rudy. New jungler, of course. I've talked to you before. But I want to look at how you've sort of developed your jungling style on Fnatic versus how you've been, or sorry, on Unicorns, as opposed to how you've been doing it in solo queue. What have you picked up in the last few weeks?
Patches have come out, like Graves, etc., became really strong, and I picked that up. But I haven't showed it yet. But the next patch is coming, so it doesn't really matter. Also, in solo queue, you tend to want to go carry mode most of the times because your team is can't rely on them too much. Sometimes, sadly, even in high elo.
Five-man dynamic though.
Dynamic is no, I don't abuse dynamic.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you're learning some good stuff there. So, Steelback, I want to talk to you a little bit more since you have a little bit of history with both these orgs now, and you've just beaten Fnatic for the second time this split. Currently, your all-time record, the Unicorns have against Fnatic is a losing record of 6-8. However, if you meet them in playoffs, you could have a chance to reverse that trend. Do you think Fnatic will make the playoffs? You'll meet them, and do you think you'll be able to knock them off easily?
I think Fnatic is a really strong team. It's always been a strong team because they have really good and talented players. I think we're playing good right now, but even though I was in Fnatic before, I don't really look those games as like being opponents because I was there before. So I'm trying to focus on myself and work as hard as I can to give the best shot to my team to win every game possible.
You certainly have made a massive impact this game and so far on this team. Deathless as well. Congratulations, gentlemen, on both of your performances and the teams. Looking forward to see more from you soon.
Thank you.
For now, though, we're heading back to the analyst desk. Take it away, guys.
Thank you very much, Pyra. First off, I'd like to welcome Origin's Amazing and Vitality Shook to help us break down that UOL win over Fnatic. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Interesting game to analyze. Yesterday, we saw Fnatic being super aggressive, doing everything that way, but this time it was UOL that got ahead. How did you read the game, Shook?
I think Unicorns of Love got ahead in the lane swap early on, but Fnatic somehow managed to climb back with getting Astro into the bot lane with Nautilus and getting some kills onto Astro. But I think the game turned around when Unicorns got a free Nasher because Fnatic decided to control bot side vision while they should have been going for top side vision.
Yeah, and they got the free Nasher, but what happened then? Because we've been talking a lot about the UOL shot calling. You know, what's their decision making like? What is your view on it?
I mean, basically, I feel like that they put too much emphasis on trying to overchase and trying to basically overgreed instead of just like having controlled shot calling coming in where they know which objectives they want to play for at which time and how many members they have to put there, to make it happen. They did a really good job at the first Nasher where they basically set it up properly. But afterwards, every time they had a Nash opportunity, they threw it by overchasing, giving up one more kill, maybe two more kills, instead of just like taking a step back from the situation and saying, we have enough members right now, we are strong enough, we have enough HP, they are one man down, we can take the Nasher. If they did that earlier in the game, they would have probably won around 10 minutes earlier because they had such a good Nash control.
And not only that, we can take a look at a couple of the fights that just highlighted this because Fnatic didn't have the ability to kind of stop that Baron afterwards. They only had the one blue trinket that really led to them not having Baron control. Here's some of the examples of over-chasing that you're talking about, Amazing. And, when you look at a situation like this, it's Vizicachi that seems to always wanting to be going forward. Shook, maybe you can talk about this with a carry top laner from your team. How do you kind of manage that kind of aggressive, always wanting to go forward attitude?
Like you have to back them up. Like you have to be in control though. Like you have to only go aggressive when you really can go aggressive. Like here they just go aggressive for no reason. Like this is good by them because they catch them off guard. But yeah, they overchase a lot this game, and I think they should like focus more on objective than overchasing.
Yeah, in the end, that's the key takeaway here. But it's still impressive then that they managed to beat a team like Fnatic. What should Fnatic have done in this scenario? Because it did stall for a long time.
I think Fnatic should have just focused on top side control over getting the dragon. Like that was just a turning point this game. Like they went for bot side control, they got the dragon, but they lost Baron after. So.
Yeah, the thing that they actually made such a good play when they gave Ezreal the double kill because they had the Gamsu TP coming in who actually, I felt like this game had really good control of his TPs. So whatever advantage they already built up, they could just play on it instead of just trying to be fancy and trying to go for the second Drake. They could, if they actually like played on that advantage and would have translated that into Nash control, like this game would have been completely different. So it's their bad on their shot calling in this game, I'd say.
Yeah, I love how you say trying to be fancy and get dragging because the way games are going now, you don't even need to have that priority.
Yeah, I think that the second Drake, or like even probably the third Drake is pretty important, but the second Drake around that time is not that important. So if you can exchange that for turret pressure, especially on the top side of the map, get the tier 2 really early in order to exert more dash pressure, it's completely worth it to just drop the Drake, maybe even, or just get it out of mid party. You don't need to control the whole bottom side, because whatever happens at that point is just up to luck. If the enemy decides to control the dragon or like walk into it, and you don't have that complete bottom priority, then they get it. But then again, you can change it off for, or like swap it for topside priority and just play completely off of it.
So it's Jungle Week, no surprise. We've got the two of you here, some of Europe's best junglers, pretty much in the history of European League. I want to kind of ask you guys your opinion on two very different junglers in this game. You've got Rudy, who's come straight out of solo queue, and Spirit, who's a legacy player. He's been around forever. Maybe amazing if you want to take one and Shook, you take the other. I'll give you your choice.
Passing the hot potato.
Yeah, I'll give you your choice, whichever you want.
I'll have Spirit. I have respected him for a long time because I played with him in a lot of scrims in Season 4. And I've always been someone that tries to look up to Korean junglers, try to maybe like find something that they're really good at. But for me personally, I felt that Spirit was always someone that was like good, but he made risky plays, as in like he overstayed, maybe tried to go for a cheesy level 3 gang instead of something like that. Whereas he completely turned that around, and I feel like by now from this risky play style, he became a really safe, I wouldn't say solo queue-esque player, but it comes off that way where he seems to have less communication coming in with the support, maybe with his lanes. So he's going to be sitting back, farming a bit more than he should be, which is surprising to me because I remember him from Season 4 being that guy that makes risky plays and tries to get his team ahead, even though Samsung was a team that always tried to play for late game, which he just equalized by basically giving early pressure, being smarter than the enemy jungler instead of sitting back and farming.
And then Shook, I guess some quick thoughts on Rudy perhaps and his performance so far?
Like, I think it's just the puppet of the team. Like, he just gets bossed around, I think, and he does what the team tells him to do. And yeah, I think he suits it well, and he just listens to what they tell him to do, and yeah, he executes it.
Yeah, we've seen that because they've inserted any other jungler and they've still kept winning. Finally, maybe amazing, you mentioned the fact that Spirit now is more focused on farming, not doing as much. Is that maybe something that isn't good for a team like Fnatic, and we know the players they have?
It really depends on how they want to play the game. The thing is that right now it's really reliant on pressure. You have to exert pressure at the right times, especially for turrets, and rotate well. If you overfarm as a jungler, it's not too bad. It's not that punished right now because the meta kind of suits like the Nilly, Grace type of champions that kind of go strength of the ages and therefore get a lot of farm on them and therefore be tanky. So it's not like the worst thing in the world right now. But for Fnatic, as a team that has always been like trying to maybe make the meta happen instead of like trying to follow the meta and try to find certain picks that kind of follow the meta but like still are really strong picks in the niches. It seems to me that Spirit should be someone that should focus on being aggressive, like we saw Quinn, for example, that has been like really aggressive in order to punish Graves players, and that's something they should just work upon, and I think they should follow that suit instead of trying to maybe overfarm or being too passive and rely on certain players to carry the game later on.
All right, well, fantastic insight there. We'll see what they choose to do. For us, though, it's time to go on cooldown. But when we return, there's a top-tier clash between H2K and G2 Esports for first place. Keep it tuned right here. You won't want to miss it.
I'm seeing it ready. We will just pause and game for that. Please, oh my god, please don't sing. What do you mean, that angel voice?
Winding up. Oh, it's going to swing and a miss. Now Chachi's in a little bit of trouble. Dancer Barrow's going forward. Look at the charm onto Hilly. He manages to get popped. Hillesang has knocked Spirit forward, but he gets bumped backwards immediately. Chachi throws down the hammer, and the verdict is you are out of here.
Kill Nautilus, kill the front line.
I go SS. Kill Bram behind. Help me.
Going low. Kai still in the front line, and Fox is blown up. Reckless still has some mana to push down. The catch onto Steelback, he is in a little bit of trouble. Glacial Fisher will knock up the rest of UOL, but that means Kai is down. Double knockup, as well as Reckless has been kept on the back line. UOL go 2-0 over Fnatic in the Spring Splits.